At the end of the day, people think it's scripted. Everybody knows exactly where they're going to go. I had no clue, you know what I mean? I mean, you have these conversations with teams and the 30 visits, and you know who likes you and you kind of have a vibe with, but at the end of the day, you really don't know where you're going to go, and it's, a life-changing day. So something that, all these guys are kind of experiencing in the moment. So it's just a thrill, really.
In the NFL Draft, welcome back, Jeff Joniak, Tom Thayer, Waddle and Silvy here at the Bears Draft Party. Say hello to number 15, Rome Odunze. Last year's number 9 pick. Is it still? It doesn't still feel fresh, right? Number 9 pick overall, or is that way behind you now? All open road.
Oh, I mean, it definitely still feels fresh, especially on a day like this, seeing all these young guys get drafted and the anticipation, all the excitement. So, it definitely brings back those emotions and those feelings.
And now what are your emotions and feelings as you look forward to this new regime and Ben Johnson? I know we've talked about it a lot, but you guys are on the inside, so fill in these fans what we're seeing at Hallis Hall.
Yeah, no, definitely. Last year was kind of like everything's new. Every experience is different, but now we kind of got a foundation. Everybody in the building kind of has a foundation, and now it's time to dominate. You know what I mean? It's time to put it all together and go dominate. Yeah.
Rome, a year ago we were sitting on this stage when the Bears called your number. You thought you knew what being a Bear would be like, what playing with Caleb would be like. How was it what you envisioned, and how was it different?
Right. I think, at the end of the day, it is football. Going out there on that field and playing ball does, feel very similar to all the different times. But, being a Bear is something that is nostalgic. You know what I mean? Something that has a rich history and background to. So that's something I continue to experience, and something I'm trying to create another legacy, towards, and create another sort of, point in time where, Chicago was on top, the Bears were on top. So looking forward to more of that.
Was anything surprising for you, though, of what you thought year one would be like?
Say that again?
Was anything surprising on what year one would be like as you pictured it before it happened?
Oh, I mean, I think just, being in the NFL is a crazy experience, having these experiences. I was listening to Devin Hester on the radio, coming into this. So I was hearing him talk about his Hall of Fame jacket and his different jackets that he has collected. So, being in the league with guys like Keenan and Caleb and, all the guys on the Bears, it's like truly special to see yourself among some of the best. And it pushes you to want to be one of those.
Tuesday, you were named the rookie recipient of the Brian Piccolo Award. Tell us what it meant to you to be honored in such a way, an award that is voted on by your teammates.
Right. Yeah, it was a huge honor. I was sitting there listening to his grandson and his daughter talk about, what he meant to them and who he was as a person. For my teammates and for those around to be able to look at me and see any of those traits, it really is an honor. And that's something that trans football, you know what I mean? It's not just about the X's and the O's, but what you're doing in the community, what you do when you leave the facility. And, that award emulates great things. So I appreciate that.
Rome, I grew up here in Illinois. I've known of Antoine Randall since he's been a freshman in high school. And we got a chance to interview him the other day. He's a high-energy guy. He's very serious, talented, plays multiple positions. How has the beginning of his message been for you in terms of getting the receiver picture put in place?
It's been great. It's been great. He's starting with the foundation and the basics of everything, which I think is a great place to start with our stance, with how we catch the ball, where our eyes were, all the basics of wide receiver play that, some might think is monotonous, but I think it's the perfect way to start. You never can freshen up more on the fundamentals of the game and playing the wide receiver position. So along with that, he's bringing that excitement, that energy, that Chicago flair that he has still inside him. So it's been great thus far.
Yeah, so Rome Odunze, our guest here on ESPN 1000 of the Bears Middle of Light Draft Party. Our draft coverage brought to you by the Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana. So you're feeling what everyone is hearing. You're feeling it as a player, the difference, the attitude, the conviction, the creativity, and the discipline that he's looking for. Can you expound upon that a little bit? I know you haven't hit the grass yet in terms of that, and training camp will be a whole different level, but in a sense, do you feel you got the road paved ahead?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I was saying, last year was, for me, it was just everything was new and, didn't have a full understanding of how it was at this level of play. So now it feels like having that understanding. I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to have the season like we did last year, and I know a feeling of like, okay, it's about to ramp up. It's about to turn up. So I think Ben and everybody in the staff and everybody in the players are kind of buying into that fact, and I'm excited about it.
New England, by the way, chose Will Campbell, LSU tackle, as their 4th pick overall, and now at number 5, the Cleveland Browns after their trade. Tommy?
That's what short arms will get you, pick 4 in the draft. Rome, so when you think of 3 systems in 3 years now, and to me, being an offensive player, the difficulty of mastering the terminology on the offensive side of the ball, that early transition into a Ben Johnson offense to the receiver position, is it something that's super complicated for you, or is there kind of familiarity because of the other systems you've been in?
I think, it's not too complicated, going over the formations and the different concepts, just getting a quick, overview of it right now until we get into the real detailed versions. It's not too complicated at all. I think he makes it very quarterback friendly, very wide receiver friendly. So that way we're very precise in what we do. And he's very detailed, you know what I mean? So when it comes to the splits, alignments, assignments, the spacing, the timing of the route, the timing of the pass, all those things he has detailed up. So when you have it detailed like that, it's hard to go out there and not understand what you're doing.
Guys, really quick, some information on pick 5. There's been a lot of talk of the Browns maybe trading back down. The reports right now from Mike Garafolo and some others, Garafolo, of course, works from the NFL Network, says the Browns are picking at 5. So they won't trade down. I've seen some speculation that it could be Mason Graham here. So it'll be interesting to see if the Bears, if they are interested in Genty, if they do engage at 7 or some other spot. Rome, I want to ask you this. Last year when you came for your visit, I know when Caleb came for his visit, they mingled with some of the veterans. Did you get a chance at all to meet with Genty?
I got to meet Genty through a Sharpie event. We kind of did a similar Sharpie event where I was the rookie of the year Sharpie guy last year with Michael Penix, and he's this year with T-Mac. So I got to meet him then, but not.
Would you like to share any insights you haven't?
Yeah, right.
What are you guys doing at 10? Or are you moving up? You moving back? What's going on?
I wish I knew. I mean, I'm just excited as all y'all out there. I'm trying to see who we gonna get. Whoever we ride with, I'm riding with 100%.
Well, have you watched him at all in college? And if he was the guy, we're not saying he is, but what do you think of his game right now?
Oh, he's elite. He's elite. I was on the West Coast over kind of, with the boys he was playing with. So I got to see him run against Oregon. That was a treat for me. And got to see him, go to the playoffs and do his thing as well. So, he's a prospect that, it's hard to let go. So wherever he ends up, I know that he's going to be special and have a great career.
Do you expect your role will be, how different will it be this year? Will you be an edge receiver? Will you do some from the slot? Do you anticipate doing a little bit of everything?
Right. I definitely anticipate doing a little bit of everything. Everything isn't defined right now exactly how it's going to be, especially with Ben Johnson's offense and being so creative week in and week out. So, we have to be ready for anything. But individual-wise, I'm just looking to, increase in everything, yards, touchdowns, catches, everything. So, and that takes a lot of discipline in this offseason. That's kind of what we get into.
There's always that talk, I'm sorry, Tom, always that talk that the guys you play against on Sunday, you only play against 1 or 2 of those guys throughout the course of your college season. What was the biggest adjustment in terms of the level of athleticism and talent of the opponent?
Right. Honestly, I felt like the athleticism and all that was pretty similar. I feel like there wasn't a big jump from college to NFL like there kind of is from high school to college. I feel like there's a bigger jump, but thing is everybody's so smart. Everybody knows their technique. Everybody knows the responsibility each and every play. So you have to be very dialed in mentally to have success.
So Jordan Schultz is reporting that the Browns are taking Mason Graham at number 5.
All right. Defensive tackle, Michigan.
Rome, when you take everything into consideration last year, the end of your college season, getting ready for the combine, and just all the hecticness of it, did you ever get tired during the course of the season, and do you feel a lot fresher right now just because of how exhausting the whole process is of getting ready for the draft?
Yeah, definitely. There was definitely kind of a fatigue standpoint. It felt like just kind of with all the different transitions from playing in the Natty to all the different combine, pro day, draft, all those different things, and then spring ball and all those different things that going through. So I felt like I felt it towards the end of the season. Like, okay, it's kind of that rookie wall starting to kind of I'm feeling it a little bit. So I'm definitely feel refreshed, energized with the new changes, with the new attitude and emotions going on in the locker room and the facility. It's got me excited.
Playing for the Natty. That'd be nice.
I
to
love
say.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We played for it, though. It'd be nice to say we won that thing. So.
Rome Odunze, our guest here at the Bears draft party. We're brought to you by Miller Lite. Jeff Joniak, Tom Thayer, Waddle and Silvy with the Cleveland Browns ready to make their pick.
25 NFL Draft. The Cleveland Browns select Mason Graham, defensive tackle,
All right,
Michigan.
Silvy was on the case. Excellent player. Nasty. Always, never off his
A lot of
feet.
people here wanted him, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
but
Excellent
Gentie's
player.
still on the board.
Yeah, well, you keep talking about this guy. Did you talk this into existence?
I mean, look, I've told you all day, Jeff, there's a lot
It's
of smoke.
interesting. There's a lot of smoke indeed.
When you're sitting back there, like we're seeing now Mason Graham walk to the stage, as you're sitting there, and this is pick 5, you were taken at 9, what is going through your mind right now?
Oh, man. I guess just anticipation, excitement, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, people think it's scripted. Everybody knows exactly where they're going to go. I had no clue, you know what I mean? I mean, you have these conversations with teams and the 30 visits, and you know who likes you and you kind of have a vibe with, but at the end of the day, you really don't know where you're going to go, and it's, a life-changing day. So something that, all these guys are kind of experiencing in the moment. So it's just a thrill, really.
Hey, Rome, I got to get. Oh, go ahead, Tom.
I was just going to ask, when you woke up that morning, did you have a feeling where you were going to go?
I definitely had like the strongest feeling that I was going to end up in Chicago, for sure, and I'm glad that I did. But I guess that maybe that's kind of just the universe, that energy, and I had the anticipation, kind of like Genty does, like, oh, who we gonna? I hope we go get Rome at 9. And I was like, I feel that love. I want to go to Chicago.
Did you talk to Caleb that morning before the draft?
I did it. I didn't talk to him that morning, but we was definitely talking afterwards and a little bit before the draft about it. So not that morning. I let him have his moment. He let me have mine.
You're an outstanding young football player, but the TV does you well too. These commercials that you're doing and these public service announcements.
Right.
You're very talented at it. It comes rather easy to you.
Thank you.
The way a lot of people when I do that stuff, it sounds like they're just reading. You're just talking to us through the screen. Is this something that comes naturally to you? Do you really enjoy doing it? Because you look great at it, you sound great at it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm just trying to be everywhere. You know what I mean? No one can escape me. I'm on the TV, I'm on the field, I'm everywhere. So I just like having fun with it, and I try and speak from the heart. You know what I mean? If I'm going to be a part of it, I'm going to put my everything into it. You know what I mean? That's ball, that's commercials, that's, whatever deal I'm doing, I'm going to put everything into it. I never do anything halfway. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Sylvie's chomping at the bit. What do you got?
All right, so you were right. The Bears are not getting Ashton Genty. Ashton Genty is going number 6 to the Raiders.
Oh.
So that is
You
big.
sound disappointed.
Well,
I mean,
not
we
that-
worked you into a froth today.
Yeah, we were. I mean,
Yeah.
it was very interesting.
You're not supposed to tell everybody the picks before the commissioner, just so you know.
Well, we're in the news. We are in the news
but,
business.
Yeah, they're supposed to knock that off.
Yeah.
Twitter ruins everything. Yeah, they
I
do.
didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to be the one squealing on him like you.
Yeah,
But-
we got to take a step back a little bit. I'm kidding. Anyway, Rome Odunze, our guest here at Soldier Field. Pretty soon this place will be blasted again with a new feeling and a new direction. I know these fans are thirsting for it. I know you've given us a little taste behind the scenes, but if there's anything that you've heard that they should hear about what's being talked about within the walls of Hallis Hall, what would it be?
Oh, man.
It could be something as simple, hey, this is the way we're going to be. It doesn't have to be anything X's and O's.
I'm on the offense side of the ball, so I guess this will, had me, salivating a little bit when Ben said it's not, how we win, it's, how many points we win by. You know what I mean? That's what I like to hear. I'm trying to put out his son said he wants to put up 40 every game. So on the offense side of the ball, that sounds, like a great goal and something to go achieve. And I know the defensive side of the ball, special teams, everybody's going to do their thing, but that's kind of the attitude. You know what I mean? It's not, the grittiness or how we're going to win. It's how we're going to go dominate.
Do you guys need? Let me ask you this: do you think you guys needed to hear that? Because hey, any kind of losing, especially a double-digit. That wears down a team. Do you think that locker room needs to hear that?
Absolutely.
That confidence.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's from the top down. You know what I mean? Everybody kind of exudes and takes on the personality, I feel like, of the head coach. And Ben, is bringing that flair and bringing that fiery attitude that, is him. And I think that, bleeds into all of the players and all the coaching staff.
Hey, Rome, I don't have anything to do with social media. All these guys live by social media. When you're a rookie and you're going through what you went through last year, did you participate in social media? Did you try to stay away from it? Because Jeff talked about some of the messages you give on your TV commercials. How was that? How did that fit into your life?
Well, I try and stay busy, you know what I mean? So whether it was like a off day or sometimes I had some time to go do those things, that's what I was doing. But social media-wise, I don't really pay attention to too many of like the critics and stuff like that because I don't listen to anybody really praising me, and I don't listen to anybody bringing me down. So I think I look at myself as my own competition, and I compare myself only to myself. So those are things that I continue to look at and try to improve on.
Enough about football. What do you do just to get away from it all? Like just to hang out?
Shoot, I try and come down to the city. Chicago, it's fire down here, so I try and come down to the city. Yeah, I'm trying. I got a list of restaurants that I'm trying to knock down. So
we already told them about Chicago Cut. I told them I would get in contact with Flom. And will this summer be different than last year in the whirlwind of being a rookie? That you'll be able to enjoy the city a little bit more.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna work hard on the weekdays, and then I'm gonna come to the city, enjoy a restaurant, and try and experience the different things that Chicago has to offer. Because man, it's amazing. And the few times that I have been able to come down here and just enjoy a weekend, it's been great. So looking to do more of that.
All right, Rome, we'll let you go. Appreciate your time. We know it's
you.
valuable.
Thank
Fans
you.
love you. We love you. Thank
Chicago.
you, man.
Appreciate y'all.
Rome Odunze, Bears wide receiver, awaiting the Bears' 10th